course, ain't nobody ask, did nobody check him for no steroid. I said, he had quick hands, he would hit. I said, but why y'all ain't checking for steroid? He ain't checking steroid. And then...
You think he was on steroids?
Of course he was on steroid.
And what we don't talk about is, Canelo. Steroids.
Some way responsible for the performance-enhancing drugs that are being used by fighters that fought in his gym. Specifically, off the top of my head, you have Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez had popped for...
Boxing legend Evander Holyfield has sparked major controversy by suggesting Canelo Alvarez may have used performance-enhancing substances. With the anticipation building ahead of Alvarez's showdown against Terence Crawford, Holyfield's bold remarks have ignited heated debates throughout the boxing world.
Greatest Mexican boxing fights of all time, in my opinion. Yeah. So I feel like I'm 100% confident in myself. If Canelo was 100% confident in himself, I don't know why he wouldn't fight me. Especially since, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which means including him, so he never got off steroids.
You think he's on steroids?
Of course. How does five?
You saw De La Hoya
How do five people out of your camp get tested positive for steroids? Right. You know what I mean? All those fucking dudes in that camp are doing it.
Although Holyfield stopped short of directly accusing Canelo of steroid use, he has long called for tougher punishments for fighters caught cheating. Back in 2018, after Canelo's positive test for clenbuterol, Holyfield even proposed jail time for offenders, arguing that athletes who use PEDs should serve 30 days behind bars.
Alvarez failed a drug test before his big Triple G fight in May, and he's blaming Mexican cows. All right, here's the deal. 2 months until the rematch with Gennady Golovkin on May 5th is going to be the big fight, and he's been taking drug tests leading up to the fight, standard operating procedure. This time he popped for a substance called clenbuterol, which is a banned substance. As a matter of fact, it helps you cut weight. A lot of people use it illegally to cut weight while maintaining muscle mass. He is saying he did not cheat. He's not a cheater. I did not intentionally take clenbuterol. The problem is, I've been training in Mexico and eating contaminated cow beef. That's what he's saying. There's a problem apparently in Mexico where some of the cattle are being injected with clenbuterol, which helps cows. It's illegal in the United States, but some places outside the United States, even some places in the United States, will use clenbuterol to grow bigger cows, to up the protein content in the meat. And he's saying that what he had was contaminated meat because his training center is in Mexico and there's a problem with Mexican meat down there. He even issued a statement saying, quote, "I'm an athlete who respects the sport and this surprises me and bothers me because it never happened to me. I will submit to all the tests that require me to clarify this embarrassing situation, and I trust in the end the truth will prevail." So far, the fight with Gennady Golovkin is still on. He's still dead set on making that fight.
Floyd Mayweather has also weighed in, blasting what he sees as double standards within boxing. He argues that while some fighters are harshly scrutinized, stars like Canelo receive leniency because of their status and marketability. Mayweather insists this unfair treatment damages the sport's integrity, emphasizing that PED use not only equates to cheating but also endangers fighters' health.
What we don't talk about is, Canelo. Steroids. Y'all don't talk about that. So we don't know. We really don't know all the fighters he beat. He could have been not clean in a lot of fights. Canelo, and the list goes on and on about athletes that's been cheating.
Been accused of cheating or been proven?
No, been proven too.
This been proven.
Yeah. Oh, well, Canelo. Oh shit.
This been proven.
Lance Armstrong.
And then Canelo talking about it was the steak that he was. It was the meat that he was eating. So okay, now you eating. I guess you eating steroid cows. Man, these boys kill.
David Benavidez has gone a step further, outright accusing Canelo and his entire team of using steroids. He questioned why Alvarez would avoid facing him if he truly had confidence in his abilities, pointing to multiple failed tests linked to fighters from Canelo's camp. Benavidez's accusations have only added more fuel to their growing rivalry.
When the greatest Canelo came out, the one that you guys seen that fought Triple G the first time, bro, dude popped dirty for clenbuterol, bro. Why do you think the second fight didn't happen? So, for me, seeing that was the best Canelo I've ever seen. But that was Canelo off of steroids. Everybody else that he's fought, he fought Amir Khan, he fought Daniel Jacobs, he fought, what the f is his name, Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Plant. These guys are all weak, bro. So for me, that's why I feel like I see Canelo Alvarez and I see like, he's not as good as everybody thinks. Because the best one that fought Golovkin that first time was off clenbuterol. That was the best Canelo I've ever seen, and that's why he looked so good, because he was off clenbuterol. So with the Canelo, he even got suspended for like 7 months.
So it's guaranteed he was
guaranteed he took it. He said that he ate meat that was tainted in Mexico.
Now, let me ask you that question.
I've talked to people. They said for him to test positive off a piece of meat, he would have had to eat.
Eddie Reynoso's gym, where Canelo trains, has faced persistent scrutiny due to repeated doping allegations. Several fighters under Reynoso's guidance have tested positive for banned substances, which has raised questions about the camp's practices. Critics remain skeptical, particularly as fans observe Canelo's rapid physical transformation ahead of the Crawford fight.
Serious accusations about his gym. And the accusations are that people, or at least the implications are, that he is the one that is providing performance-enhancing drugs or is in some way responsible for the performance-enhancing drugs that are being used by fighters that fought in his gym. Specifically, off the top of my head, you have Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez had popped for clenbuterol 2 times. For Fahim Satur, I'll say that he did it 2 times, even though I think it was for the same fight. But Canelo Alvarez popped dirty for clenbuterol 2 times. You have Luis Nery, who had tested positive, but I think Luis Nery tested positive before he was with Eddie Reynoso. Then you have Ryan Garcia, who popped dirty after he left Eddie Reynoso and went over to Derek James. And then you have Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez popped dirty while he was with Eddie Reynoso, but at the time he was still allowed to fight. You also clearly see that you have an issue with the fight that's coming up with Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, in that you have one guy that tested positive and you have another guy that looks like he's using in order to get up and continue to climb up weight classes. You know, at a certain point in time, and this is something that Rolly Romero has said, certain point in time your body just doesn't do that. At a certain point in time, your body just doesn't do it. I'm 6'2", 200, and should weigh about 210. Closer to 250, but I should weigh about 210. I'm not gonna get up. If I was 210 now at 50 years old.
Many analysts point out that building substantial muscle naturally in one's 30s is extremely difficult. Yet Canelo's noticeably larger physique in recent years has drawn suspicion, especially given Reynoso's gym's doping history. With multiple fighters from the camp testing positive, doubts linger over the legitimacy of Canelo's transformation.
If I'm juicing, for a 30-year-old, right? You remember, your body grows. Men's body can grow in height and length up until to the extreme in your 20s. By the time you're 20, your height and all that stuff is there, right? Your height and your length. In your mid-20s, you know, by the time you're 29, your musculature is pretty much there. It gets harder to gain and put on muscle after 30.
On a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan revisited Canelo's failed clenbuterol test and raised concerns about his sudden size and performance. Rogan stressed the importance of transparency in boxing, arguing that without it, the sport risks losing credibility. Fans, too, appear unsurprised by the renewed allegations, viewing them as consistent with Canelo's past controversies.
What up, everybody? It's your boy MC from MCTV. I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo Alvarez is on steroids right now as we speak, and he's going to be fully juiced for something that hasn't even hit the market yet. Think about it, he's pretty much a billionaire.
Holyfield, however, has nothing but praise for Terence Crawford. He lauded Crawford's power, versatility, and ability to effortlessly switch between orthodox and southpaw stances. According to Holyfield, this adaptability makes Crawford unpredictable, forcing opponents to constantly adjust. He likened it to life itself. Survival depends on adapting.
Going left-handed and right-handed, how do you deal with someone like that?
Well, I don't know. There's nobody to switch up on me a lot. So it's hard for me to say, but I know life is about adjustment. You have to make adjustment. To be successful, adjustment is always what gonna be the difference between how far you gonna go.
And this is the last one, because I just thought of something. Obviously, Fury Usyk, a lot of people are talking about for undisputed. You know, you were a smaller guy, and you almost beat. A lot of people thought you beat Nikolai Valuev, who's even taller. Even taller than Tyson Fury. How does a small guy Usyk defeat a tall guy like Tyson Fury?
Crawford's longtime trainer, Brian Bomac McIntyre, echoed this confidence. He insisted their camp has left no stone unturned in preparation, acknowledging Canelo's strengths but trusting Crawford's tactical brilliance to overcome the size disadvantage.
He's going to get the victory. Second of all, I'm just happy for him and the team. So, you know, the world can see once again why he considered the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
There was many a time where he was maybe struggling to get certain fights, and then he had to almost kick that door down. Is it nice to see him sort of getting the fruits of his labour now and getting that generational wealth off the back of what is, obviously it's a hard career boxing, you don't get given anything.
Definitely that. Definitely good to see him get, like you say, fruits of his wealth. Get me fights that, again, will show the world why he's the best fighter in the world. Show the world why he's the best fighter in the world. I'm just happy.
Nico Ali Walsh, grandson of the legendary Muhammad Ali, also weighed in. He revealed that Crawford has been sparring with bigger fighters specifically to prepare for Canelo's power. This calculated approach shows Crawford's commitment to adjusting his game plan for the super middleweight challenge.
People with Canelo before Canelo's last fight, but then after Canelo's last fight, it seems like it's more 50-50 now. So everything is just the build-up for that fight is just going to be absolutely magnetizing. Like that fight, it's garnered so much more buzz after Canelo's last fight, and Bud is Bud. He's one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. He is one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. So it's going to be a fight. It's going to be awesome to watch.
Have you sparred any of them?
I haven't sparred Bud yet. I haven't been in Canelo's camp. I've met Canelo a few times. I love Canelo's team. Canelo's one of my favorite fighters. He's been my favorite fighter for the longest time. But you know, I have to be Team Bud because me and Bud are cool, and I have so much belief in Bud, and I know who he is as a fighter. He is one of the greats. So he could do anything, he wants.
And being around both of them and seeing how they work and train and things like that, what makes both of them the fighters they are, in your opinion?
I've watched Bud, so for Bud in particular, he's calm in everything he does, and that kind of calm is scary to watch because it shows experience. You can see that he's been doing this forever, for decades. You can see it with his shadow boxing. You can see it.
NBA icon Shaquille O'Neal has also voiced support for Crawford, praising his precision, discipline, and relentless mentality. Shaq believes Crawford's technical skill will be enough to neutralize Canelo's strength, adding more hype to an already massive fight.
Talking about the one fight right now, Terence Crawford versus Canelo. Who do you got?
Terence Crawford.
Terence Crawford?
Yeah.
Why?
He's the best ever.
Really? You think he's the greatest ever?
Yeah.
Over Ali, Muhammad Ali? I didn't know you were a big Terence Crawford fan like that.
You have to understand that there's eras, and in different eras, you can bring out the titles. Like, for example, Joker's the best big man out.
Right.
And I don't like,
you put Joker over you as the best big man? Oh.
Different eras and different times. It's not my era, not my time now.
True.
It's their time. So he's the greatest big man in the NBA right now. So I let the people decide who that. But right now, Terence Crawford is the best.
So
and Floyd, because Floyd has never lost.
So how does Terence beat Canelo? Decision?
Or
he's going to knock Canelo out?
Yes, man.
So they're going to have the fight at the Vegas Stadium, Raider Stadium. You're going to be there?
I heard it was off.
No, it's back on.
Okay,
now
yeah,
it's back on. It's in September 13th in Vegas.
Yeah,
you'll be there. Front row? Front row?
Of course.
All right, cool. You're the...
Still, analysts highlight one major contrast: experience at super middleweight. Canelo is a seasoned veteran at this weight, having unified all the division's titles, while Crawford is making his debut at 168 pounds. This step up presents both opportunity and risk for the Omaha native.
There's no Triple G on Bud's resume. There's no Trout on Bud's resume. There's no Daniel Jacobs on Bud's resume. Canelo is the one that's fought the elite level opposition. It's Canelo that fought Laura. There is no Laura on Bud's resume. There is no Laura on Bud's resume. Bud has never faced a multiple division champ. Bud has never faced a multiple division champ.
Yeah, but Bud is an elite boxer.
So you're an elite boxer, but you haven't fought elite boxing.
Trainer Robert Garcia believes timing may play in Crawford's favor. He noted that Canelo's recent performances seem less sharp compared to his prime. Garcia suggested that Crawford may be entering this matchup at the perfect moment to exploit the dip and explosiveness.
Canelo, because it's a fight that that most of the people don't give Crawford a chance because of the size, but he's got skills, man. He's got skills. He's got good speed, good footwork. That's why I do give him a chance.
You do give Crawford.
I do give Crawford a chance, of course. You know, Canelo's last few fights, you know, he does his work. He gets work done, but never does that little extra to please or to. He knows he doesn't need to anymore, so he's just comfortable enough with just securing the win. He became a businessman, and I think that could be something in favor of.
Pro boxing pundits agree that adaptability will be Crawford's greatest weapon. His ability to switch stances, create angles, and control tempo makes him unpredictable. Against Canelo, this skill will be critical. Crawford must adjust to Canelo's timing and power in real time if he hopes to come out on top.
Crawford, on the other hand, he has been walking down his fighters, and people don't see that but me. For some reason, when I had that tape, people were screaming cat. And it's like David Ebenezer, Errol Spence, Sean Porter, Gamboa, a meme machine. Even against Madrimov, the way he won the fight was by fight. It wasn't Floyd Mayweather sticking. This guy has been too athletically gifted, and I mean explosive, hard punching, and too strong for his ops. When he's in orthodox, he boxes more. When he switched, he becomes a puncher. And now he's coming out southpaw. He ends you. He is not. You gotta watch him fight. He does do athletic things where his hands and his feet work together, and he catches you for sure. But what he mostly do is he punishes and he bullies his op, because he walks you down and whips your ass. He's an ass.
The debate remains, is Canelo truly clean ahead of the Crawford fight? Should past controversies influence how fans judge him today? These questions loom large as the boxing world prepares for one of the most anticipated clashes in recent memory.